Is the LG K40 a good phone to buy? Well, in this video, we're going to be talking about that. Follow me on Instagram at KevinBreezeTV. Please join the Kevin Breeze Tech community on Facebook to chat about budget smartphones, ask questions, and help others. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with my LG K40 review. There are multiple versions of the LG K40 out there, which is actually very frustrating and confusing. So this version of the phone is the US factory unlocked version of the LG K40, but we also have a different version on Metro by T-Mobile, and there's the international version as well. In addition to that, I've heard rumors that the LG K40 is going to be making its way over to additional carriers in the US, and those phones will have their own specifications as well. Now, there's a lot of similarities between all of the different versions of the LG K40, but they each do have their own differences. But this video is going to cover the fundamentals of the device, but definitely do your own research to see the specs of the specific version of the LG K40 that you're thinking of buying, because I don't want you to think that I'm getting the specs wrong in this video, because the truth is that I'm not. I'm going off the specs of the US factory unlocked version of the LG K40. Here's the box and here are the specs. But I know that there are a lot of people on my unboxing video that commented and said, hey, you're getting the specs wrong for the processor and you're getting the specs wrong for the storage and you're getting all these things wrong. And I'm not. The fact is that there are different versions of the LG K40 out there, but they all share the same name, which is a terrible move by LG because it confuses consumers and just doesn't make them look good as a brand. But the good news though is that all of the LG K40 models out there share the same design and for the most part have a lot of similarities. So regardless of the specific version of the LG K40 that you're thinking of getting, this video will still be helpful. Now this device is available factory unlocked, as I mentioned before, for $179.99 and works on all GSM carriers in the US and Verizon Wireless. Now, if you're going to buy this device through a carrier, you're most likely going to get some major discounts and you're not going to be paying $179.99 because most carriers offer port-in deals and new line deals and even upgrade deals. So definitely going the carrier locked route is a way to save money. But if you want the flexibility of being able to switch from carrier to carrier very easily, then you might want to get the unlocked version of the phone and pay a little bit of extra money. Now, I bought this device at Best Buy, but you can also find it at B&H Photo right now. It's not currently available on Amazon, but I'd imagine that it will be available there in the future. So when that happens, I will be updating the link in the video description. Now this phone features a 5.7-inch display that looks very nice, it's very crisp and clear, and it has good colors. Now it features a 720p resolution, an 18:9 aspect ratio, and has a PPI of 282. So it's not 1080p, but it still looks really good. And I definitely like that it's a taller display, and overall this phone is going to be solid for watching videos, whether that's on YouTube or Netflix, or for browsing the web, because you get a nice, tall, good-looking display on the phone. Now you've probably noticed that this phone does not feature a notch on the top, and many new phones nowadays do have notches, so if you don't like notches, then you'll probably like the LG K40. But we do have pretty big bezels on the top and bottom, so that is one compromise that comes with the LG K40 since it is a budget phone. Now up top we have a 5 megapixel front-facing camera that actually takes pretty good photos and videos. Later on in this video you will see samples of that, and we also have a front-facing flash. So if you take a lot of front-facing photos in the dark, then having a front-facing flash is probably going to be a really useful feature to you. This device features 16 gigabytes of internal storage with the ability to expand that with the microSD card. Now, other versions of the LG K40 do have 32 gigabytes of storage, so that's definitely good to see. But this one does have 16 gigabytes. And of that 16 gigabytes, only 8 is available because the other 8 is taken up by the software. Now, I haven't even installed that many applications on here since I started using this. I really only installed Speed Test and Temple Run, and I took some photos and videos with it, and after all of that, there's only 4 gigabytes of remaining space on the phone. So that is absolutely unacceptable to have 16 gigabytes of internal storage, and I understand you can expand it with an SD card, but it's not the same. Nothing beats having a lot of internal storage on your phone, and 16 gigabytes is definitely not enough. I have no idea how the software takes up so many gigabytes of storage, But there's not even that many like internal apps and bloatware on here. Just a few of LG's apps. They also pre-installed Facebook and Instagram. And there's a calculator, music app, FM radio, contacts, you know, all the normal stuff. Of course, all the Google applications as well. So I have no clue how all of that took up 8 gigabytes. But if you're gonna get this phone and you're gonna get the version that has 16 gigabytes of internal storage, be ready for this to fill up really quickly. Now the device does not have wireless charging, which is normal. I wouldn't expect to have that on a budget phone like this. We do have an 8 megapixel rear facing camera that actually is pretty decent. It takes good photos and videos, especially for the price. Like I said, later on in the video, I'm going to show you samples of that, so stay tuned for that. We have a fingerprint sensor here on the back that works really well, so it's nice and quick. So that's a great way to unlock the phone. Now this phone features 2 gigabytes of RAM and the Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 processor. So 2 gigabytes of RAM is definitely trash. That is not a good amount of RAM at all, especially in 2019. Maybe in 2013, 2 gigabytes of RAM would have been appropriate, but not in 2019. This phone should have had at least 3, maybe even 4 gigabytes of RAM, especially for the price. Now the Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 processor is the same processor that's in the LG Stylo 4. And actually for a device like this, that's not a bad processor at all. So at least LG picked a decent processor for the LG K40. So that is one of the few strong points of this device. The phone can take video at 1080p up to 30 frames per second. It has a non-removable 3000 mAh internal battery. And the software on here is Android 8.1 Oreo. Another really wild, really disappointing thing about the phone, because Android 8.1 Oreo is an older version of Android. It's not the latest version. Android Pie is the latest version of Android that's out right now. And Android Q is right around the corner. So pretty soon, once Q comes out, Android 8.1 Oreo is going to be 2 generations old. And I can't imagine that LG is going to update the software anytime soon on this phone. And if they do implement a major software update on the device, then I guarantee that that precious 16 gigabytes of storage is going to be even further depleted. So maybe instead of having 8 gigabytes of storage available, you're going to have 6 gigabytes of storage available if this phone is ever updated to Android Q. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that there is no portrait mode with the rear camera, but you do get portrait mode with the front-facing camera. It would have been nice to see it on the back camera as well, but I can't complain that it's at least available on the front. Now that we've gone over the specifications of the LG K40, I would now like to give you a closer look at the hardware itself. So I kind of went over the front here quite a bit already, but we do have that 18:9 aspect ratio display. It has a 720p resolution, a 282 ppi, and it comes in at 5.7 inches. So I actually like the display on here quite a bit, and it is a strong point of this phone. Even though it is 720p, it still looks good, and it's still going to work really well for you for watching movies, browsing the web, and playing games. Then we have that 5 megapixel front-facing camera, front-facing flash, on-screen Android navigation buttons, and that's pretty much it. On the left side, we have this plastic chrome-looking band, and we have the volume rockers. We have a Google Assistant button, so a dedicated Google Assistant button, which is pretty cool to see. And we have the slot for the SIM card and micro SD card. Now I am using Cricket on this phone right now, so I'll do a speed test of that in a little bit, just to give you an idea of how Cricket performs on this phone. Then on the right side, we have the power button. Then on the top, we just have the noise canceling microphone. On the bottom, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack, microphone, micro USB port, which is another disappointment. This really should have had USB-C, especially for the price. And we have the speaker. Then on the back side, we have the camera, which is 8 megapixels. That actually takes decent photos and video. I'll give them that. Not that you'll be able to store a whole lot of it on the phone with the included storage. We have the fingerprint sensor, and we have the LG logo. So let's now do a speed test of Cricket on this phone. But here we go. I just started the speed test. Looks like we are getting around 5 megabits per second. That's kind of low, actually. 6, 7. Here we go. Okay, so 6.80 down. That's pretty normal for Cricket. And then upload about 6 megabits per second. But yeah, Cricket works great with this. Of course, like I said, you can use it with any GSM carrier in the US. You'll be able to use this phone overseas too. Maybe you're going on a trip to Europe or Asia. You can use this and put in a local SIM card there. And also you can use Verizon with the phone. Now the upload is 6.49 megabits per second. Very awesome. Now let's do a quick gaming test with Temple Run. But this phone is good for kind of your basic games like Temple Run and other Candy Crush, games like that are going to work fine. But as you can see, frame rates are good with Temple Run, and I just lost the game. But you get the idea. The typing experience is actually pretty good with this phone, and you're going to have a smooth typing experience with it. So I know that's something that some people are concerned about with budget phones, but that'll work fine on the LG K40. Over to Metro by T-Mobile. In this video, we're going to talk about the price, specifications, and release date of the phone. So let's get started. The phone overall is really good for playing videos. I'm actually very impressed with the speaker quality of the device, so that's definitely a strong point there. So don't be worried about that at all if you decide to get the LG K40. Now my expectations were pretty low about the cameras, considering that the megapixel count was pretty low for them when I saw the specifications of the device. But I'm actually pretty impressed with the photos and videos that were taken from the phone. I especially think that the portrait mode for the front-facing camera works really well. So of course, you're not getting the best cameras out there with the phone, but they're certainly not bad by any means. So overall, you're going to get a great experience using the cameras on the device with decent colors and also good close-ups. Now, one downside that I noticed in video mode, which is really good by the way, the phone does take decent videos, which you can judge that for yourself coming up in a second, but there is no autofocus in video mode. So I had to manually tap on the screen if I wanted to refocus the phone when taking a video. And for a budget phone, that's fine, that's pretty acceptable, but it's still something that you might want to keep in mind, and it is one downside with the device. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with a test video from the LG K40 at 1080p at 30 frames per second. Definitely let me know what you think of the video quality. It looks like there's not any autofocus in video mode. I had to tap on the screen to focus, so just keep that in mind. Hey everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with a front-facing video from the LG K40. So let me know what you think of the quality. From what I can see through the viewfinder though, it actually looks pretty good. So that's a nice surprise. But I definitely want to know your opinion about it. So let me know down below in the comments. But this is the front-facing camera on the LG K40. So overall, do I recommend the LG K40? It's definitely not my #1 recommendation, that's for sure. There are way better options out there. The LG Stylo 4, for example, is a better phone even though that's been out for over a year now. There are other phones from other brands such as Umidigi that perform way better than this and are available at a cheaper price. For example, the Umidigi Power, which I did a video comparison comparing this phone and that phone to on the channel. And if you're willing to go the used route, you could actually buy a used LG G7 Thin Q, which was LG's flagship phone last year, on eBay for just $200. So for barely any more money, you can get a phone that's like literally 20 times better. Also, with 2 GB of RAM on this phone, that's not good. Having Android 8.1 Oreo is not good. Having a micro USB port on the bottom is not good. The price tag of $179.99 is not good, but if you can get this device on a carrier for a cheaper price, maybe with some sort of promotion tied in, I know that Metro by T-Mobile, for example, is allowing people that port into their carrier to get this phone for free. So if you can get this for free, then it's definitely worth it. But I'm mostly basing my critiques off of that $179.99 price tag, which is the price of the unlocked version of this phone. So at that price, it's not worth it. But again, for free or maybe 50% off, it is worth it. Now the display itself is good. The battery capacity of 3000 mAh is good. The Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 processor is good. The overall form factor is good. The Google Assistant button on the side is good. Having Verizon support in addition to full GSM support is good. The cameras on the front and back are good. Oh, another thing that's bad that I didn't mention is the 16 gigabytes of storage, but I've already talked about that quite a bit. That's pretty bad. And especially if we get a software update in the future, it's going to take up even more of the 8 gigabytes of storage that's already dedicated to the software of the device. So if you buy this phone for yourself, you'll definitely survive with it. I don't think it's the end of the world, but there are way better options out there for the same or cheaper price. But I hope you found this video to be helpful. This is Kevin here with my LG K40 review. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.